It's how you actually adopt and use Flash, but use it correctly. In a way, you've got to look back at what you want to do with Flash. It provides you with that next tier of performance, if you like, but it comes at a cost. The delta, the difference between traditional storage, traditional spinning disk, if you like, and Flash still is high. Yeah. So you, as a business owner, a business leader, have to make that decision on what workloads you need to put on Flash and how that is going to benefit your business. So that whole value proposition around Flash workloads, the performance management, if you like, is a key piece. You can't. I've spoken to many customers who've just put Flash on the floor and then found that they've got too much performance and they're paying too high a price for that performance. So there is a piece of work that absolutely has to be done to understand what are the best workloads to put on the Flash platform, which workloads maybe fit on a hybrid platform, so Flash and traditional disk combined together, and then which workloads maybe on a capacity platform. But ideally, what I don't want to do is create another island of technology. No, I think that's probably one of the biggest things, and I've spoken to many CIOs who have actually done that. They've gone out and invested, paid the top dollar for Flash, and then have created another island of management within their organization. You absolutely, as I've said, have to do that performance management, capacity management piece of work and understand and bring out those workloads. Now, the typical type of workloads that we've seen as being the key workloads, the ones that are being selected are, perhaps not unsurprisingly, it's the revenue generating, customer facing type workloads, and predominantly those are databases. So you can imagine a customer that's got an online shop, for instance, and the one thing they want to do is just make sure that they drive customer loyalty. People like me, as soon as I go to a website to buy something, if I'm left waiting for any length of time, I'm gone. I'll go elsewhere. And Flash can solve that problem and help drive customer loyalty by making sure you have a consistent, repeatable response time to customer interaction. Buying, putting stuff in your shopping basket, checkout online, just making sure that is absolutely consistent. Flash gives you that capability for databases that are supporting that web-facing shop, if you like. So databases are a typical use case. VDI is another one. So typically, you can imagine when lots of staff flood into an organization first thing in the morning and switch on their laptops, their desktops. The first thing that hits the data center is this flood of requests to boot. And Flash can certainly help solve a lot of those boot storms, as they're called, but generally accelerate applications that need it. But it is a question of the organization asking themselves, what price do I want to pay for this level of performance? So it's, you have workloads that require very high performance all the time, and you've got workloads that require very high performance, but some of the time. So hybrid, I honestly think that, for the Flash portfolio, if you like, the hybrid space is probably where the sweet spot is, because you can imagine sort of month-end, year-end accounts, they get to the 28th or the 29th of the month and the requirements for access to the month-end accounts goes through the roof, and then into next month it tails off again. So you need performance for a very specific short amount of time. So hybrid fits that model well, where you move the hot data into Flash when it's required and then out when it's not. Yeah. So those are some of the areas, and I still think that there's a massive requirement for online, just capacity, traditional storage. So you've got these three domains, if you like, all Flash, everything's Flash, consistent, high performance all the time. That's where your databases and maybe your VDI sit. Then you've got hybrid for mixed workloads, where peaky, bursty type performance requirements, and then capacity. So, and I don't want to create another island of management. I want that all joined up and clustered together, because I know my business will change over time, and I want to be able to have the flexibility to move stuff between each of those domains as the business drives it, if you like.